it would be great if you could let us know where you are joining from. So you click the 3 dots next to your name and choose the option that says rename. And we are gonna put our location. So we are in Cali, Colombia today. So if you have a chance, let us know what country or city you're joining us from. You can also change your name so that we know what we're supposed to be calling you. I see we have a few schools from our India group. That's awesome to see. And Paul Kane High School is here. Hello, Paul Kane. It's so nice to see you all. You are welcome to turn on your cameras if you are allowed to turn on your cameras. We would love to see your faces. If you have questions throughout the event, you can type them in the chat, or you can raise your hand and we would be happy to unmute you and have you ask your question that way. Now, as we wait for the rest of our schools to get here and wait to welcome our YouTube friends, my friend here, Braden, has some trivia questions that he would like to do with you all as an icebreaker. So Braden, I will pass it to you.
Okay, hi, my name is Braden. I'm 12 years old. I'm from Alberta, Canada, and it's trivia time. Okay, so the way it works is on the trivia question slides below, there's a question, and then the next slide shows the answer. The answers are highlighted red with an arrow next to them, and it's a fun fact on the answer slides.
And you guys can answer in the chat.
Yes.
So if you're on YouTube or on Zoom, type your answers in the chat and we can kind of see what the consensus is before we go to our answer.
Okay, the first question. What biome is Colombia in? Is it A, a grassland, B, tundra, C, rainforest, or D, desert?
Now we do have a couple Colombian students with us, so maybe without them giving it away.
Yes.
Does anybody here have a guess of what we think it would be? I'm seeing some C's in the chat.
Yeah, some C's.
Yeah. What else are we getting? I saw a C in the crowd here. Oh, I'm getting an A. Oh, and a B.
And a B.
Big mixture. Okay, and don't forget, if you're on YouTube, please type your answers in the chat as well. My friend Sarah would love to tell us what your answers are too. Okay, so we actually were out in the biome today, Braden, so you definitely know what this one is. You can go ahead and give them the answer.
The answer is C, rainforest. And a fun fact, the Amazon rainforest is more than half the size of the United States.
Awesome, so cool. All right.
Next question. What are the national animals of Canada and Colombia? Is it A, beaver and condor, B, condor and caribou, C, caribou and beaver, or D, none of the above?
Okay. What are we thinking for this one? I mean, I know the Canada answer.
Yeah. I'm not sure about the Colombia answer.
Over here.
I see an A. I see a lot of B's. I see some C's.
And in the chat here, I see A. Oh, welcome, Danae. Danae from joining us from Africa, saying he thinks it's A.
A lot of A's. Yeah, the answer is A, beaver and condor. And another fun fact, the world's largest beaver dam is so big, you can see it from space in satellite images.
And guess where that beaver dam is located?
Canada.
It's in Canada. Yeah, it's actually in the province that we live in. I've never seen it in real life.
Me neither.
Would be cool though.
Yes. Okay. How many trees are cut down globally each year? I actually didn't know this until I looked it up, and they're all very scary numbers.
What do we think? Okay, I'm getting some 5 billion, some 15 billions. What do you see in Braden?
In the chat, I'm seeing D and B.
Okay, this is a tricky one. I think we don't really know.
I see a C.
All right, let's see what it is.
The answer is B, 15 billion. The last fun fact, trees can communicate with each other. So some trees communicate with each other by releasing chemical signals through fungi that grow near the tree roots.
Awesome. Did you know that mushrooms are my favorite organism?
I did not.
Yes, you did.
I did.
Awesome. Thank you so much for the trivia. Hopefully that warmed you guys up a little bit to using our chat function so that you know how to ask questions. We're going to go ahead and get officially started. So we would love to officially welcome you to our live from COP event here in Cali, Colombia. We're so happy to have you all joining us on Zoom and on YouTube. Yeah, we can trade over. And I have a couple reminders and a land acknowledgement before we get started. So I would like to acknowledge that the Center for Global Education is located in Amiskwachee, So this city is colonially known as Edmonton, Alberta, and it's found within Treaty 6 territory. This is the traditional gathering place and traveling route for many groups. These include the Cree, the Saulteaux, Blackfoot, Métis, Dene, and the Nakota Sioux, just to name a few. And we are so happy to be able to share this land with so many diverse peoples. We're also happy to be able to make this connection with Indigenous peoples within Canada and also within Colombia to see how we can better protect biodiversity around the world. Now, before I pass it off to get our welcome from our local Cali student, just a couple of reminders for you. We would love to hear your questions. So if you are joining on YouTube or on Zoom, please type your questions in the chat. That's what these kids are here for. They would love to answer all of your questions, your burning questions about COP in Cali, Colombia. We are also happy to get your questions live. So if you raise your hand with your little raised hand reaction, we can unmute you and have you answer on or ask your question on camera. All right, so without further ado, I am going to pass the microphone to our local Cali student to introduce herself and give a welcome message.
Hey everyone, my name is Isabela Toman. I study here in Cali at Colegio Jefferson. I'm 17 years old, so I'm currently in 12th grade, about to graduate. And well, today we're at our school and we just went to the forest, which I think you mentioned.
Yes, and yes, I think I did. I think
you can see pictures about the forest, yeah. So we have a lot of plant and animal species that coexist. For example, we have about 825 identified bird species, which is a lot and they can be observed. So we went in with teachers that explained to us about their functions, what they do, for example, plants that help as medicines. So it's really interesting to see how they all have a unique function that helps us. So yeah, we can really truly understand the importance of each species. And well, here in Cali, we can see a lot of green spaces, right? Like
totally, there's trees everywhere.
There's trees everywhere, yeah. So you can identify, for example, when you learn like the names and everything and see like that's well, the name of the tree, for example, and know what they do and how they coexist. So it's really beautiful to see how they each have a role and they help each other.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. And I want to say a huge thank you, not just to your school, but to your country for hosting us. You would be amazed at how welcoming all of the local Colombians are. You walk down the street and it's buenos dias constantly. They're the most lovely, welcoming people. So thank you so much for having us.
It's an honor to have you here.
Wonderful. Thank you. All right, let's shuffle over and we are going to go ahead and invite our next speaker to let us know what is COP and what are we doing here? Because I'm sure there are some people joining us today who maybe don't exactly know what COP stands for or what our role is. So I will pass the microphone next to Diego.
Hi, my name is Diego. I am from Costa Rica. I am 17 years old. And well, today I will talk about what is the COP16 and why we are here. And well, firstly, the COP16 is like the Conference of the Parties. It's the main decision-making body of the Convention of Biological Diversity. Indeed, it was created at the 1992 Earth Summit. And at this moment, Colombia is hosting COP16 in Cali from October 21st to November 1st with the theme Peace with Nature. With the theme Peace with Nature, the conference encouraged us to refine our relationship with the environment and advocate for sustainable practices over exploitation. And also, this conference is divided into zones. The first is the blue zone, is for high-level official discussions and decision-making. And also the green zone is open to the public and is a place where meetings and connections are made. On the left, we have the blue zone team, and on the right, we have the green zone team. And also, And why we are here? Well, we are here because young people are not just the future, but also active agents of change in the present. Our goal is to help shape policies and include our generation in building a more just and sustainable world. As emphasized in the Global Child Declaration for Biodiversity, environmental education must be central to every nation's curriculum so that young people everywhere are trained in conversation and climate change from an early age. Also including us in decision making leads to policies enriched with fresh perspectives and solutions. And we also advocate for indigenous voices and knowledge, as these communities has been stewards for biodiversity for generations. Blended scientific knowledge with traditional wisdom helps conversation efforts. We understand that cooperation with communities is essential to impactful environmental conservation. By joining forces with governments, business, and NGOs, we aim to create networks of supports and resources that empower young people to engage in projects like ecosystem restoration and environmental awareness campaigns. So our presence here is to call for a collaborative action and youth empowerment and to drive lasting change for biodiversity globally.
Beautiful. Thank you so much. And if you would like to learn a little bit more about what Diego was talking about, you can scan the QR code on your screen, or you can visit our website and read their full declaration. They worked for over 48 hours to develop this declaration to share it here in COP. So they would love it if everyone would be able to read it. Okay, thank you so much. All right, up next, I'm going to welcome our panelists to join us. So I'll give you a quick introduction and you can unmute and say a quick hello. So first we have Mala Sharma. From cute and cuddly kittens to creepy crawly insects, Mala has always had a passion and love for nature. She studied environmental studies at York University and embarked on her mission to become an environmental educator. She absolutely loves teaching about ocean conservation and is motivated to inspire youth around the world to take action against climate change. So welcome, Mala.
Hi, everyone. I'm so excited to be here. Thank you for having me.
Thanks, awesome. And our second panelist is Luisa Aquino. So Luisa is a social innovation and outreach manager with Taking It Global. She was born in Manila, Philippines. Oh, sorry, thank you. She was born in Manila, Philippines, grew up in Winnipeg, and currently lives in Toronto. She is a global motivational speaker who is passionate about advocating for youth mental health, gender equality, and human rights. And in 2018, she became one of the youngest top 25 RBC Canadian Immigrant Award recipients and the youngest second RBC Youth Award recipient. So welcome, Luisa.
Thanks so much, everyone, for having me. I'm super excited to be here, and it's super cool to be joining you all in Cali, Colombia.
Oh, wonderful. Thank you. Now, nobody wants to hear old people talk on these things. I am not going to be moderating this discussion. I'm going to invite the youth that I have on the ground here to introduce themselves, and they are going to be moderating the discussion for you. Now, I do want to remind you, as the discussion is going, we do have a few questions prepared for the students to answer, but now is your chance. If your school has a question, please type it in the chat. And we will get to them throughout the discussion as we have time. So I am going to get out of the way. I will let you guys introduce yourselves and we can get going with the panel.
Well, hello everyone. My name is Sophia. I'm 17 and I'm from Costa Rica.
Hi, my name is Natalia. I'm 16 and I'm from Bogota, Colombia.
Hi everyone, my name's Jared. I'm also 16 and I'm from Townsville in Australia.
Well, greetings to all the participants and those who are watching us. Today we have 5 questions for the panelists. We remind that they can answer any questions they want, and it's not necessary to answer all of them. So good luck everyone. This is the first question. How do you support habitats in your work?
Okay, so in my school, we support habitats not only by fomenting the care of them, but also by doing different projects, like taking rainwaters for like our day-to-day use. We also recollect like other like waters, not only from rain. We also do like all kind of projects where we recollect like trash and we use it for other stuff. And we also did like this project recently in which we planted endemic species of the zone, and that has really helped the animals and especially pollinators like birds to come to our school, and it has been really good. Yeah.
Yeah, our school has several projects to promote biodiversity as well. Probably the biggest thing we do is it's called the Youth to Action program. So our students work with other students in the Pacific, so specifically in developing communities there, to promote biodiversity through projects in their local areas. So as part of that, our students raise over 12,000 Australian dollars every single year, which is used to create those projects. And also in our school, we have our aquaponics center and our fish farm. So in those, we grow native plants, which we then will replant around our local community to promote biodiversity. And we also will raise native fish, which we then release back into our rivers and oceans.
So, maybe Maria, Luisa, or Mala? Do you want to answer?
Definitely. I can start us off. I don't know about you, Mel and Maria, but I'm just listening to them and I'm like, you guys can do all the talking. You're all amazing. You're so, so, so good. It's really cool to hear what you're all doing at your own schools. And it's so empowering for me to see all the amazing work that all these young people are doing. Here at Taking It Global, we have about two things right now that I can think of on the top of my head that we're doing to support habitats. The first one is that we've actually given out over $1 million to fund over 1,200 projects that youth are leading in their own communities to focus on SDG 11, which is sustainable cities and communities, climate action, and life below water. So we've given dozens of other grants as well to groups and schools that help them do sustainability projects like the ones that you were naming. So it's really awesome to see. And we also have a platform called Commit to Act, which allows you to log your sustainable actions and see how much CO2 that you're saving. So if you're competitive and have a group of friends, I'd encourage you to hop on the app, hop on the website, committoact.org, create a group and start logging the sustainable actions, because when you're younger, and I remember when I was younger especially, I always thought like, wow, what is one water bottle going to do if I take a plastic water bottle and use it? Or what does it really make a difference if I eat a plant-based meal? It's just one meal. So through Commit to Act and really coming together, we can see the collective impact and the power that it has when we do our own part in making the world a better place. So that's kind of what we're doing at Taking It Global, but I think I'll pass it on to you, Mala.
Yeah, I'll jump in here. Thank you so much, Louise. I'm definitely agreeing with you. I'm very impressed with what y'all's school is doing. I was definitely not doing all that when I was your age. It took a while for me to find my way here, but once I did, I realized how important collective action really is. I work for an organization called Oceanwise, and we are a nonprofit. We're based out of Vancouver, British Columbia, and we are focused on targeting three main issues that the ocean is facing: ocean pollution, overfishing, and climate change. And we do that with a collection of a bunch of teams. So we have around 5 teams at Oceanwise that are all working together to target those 3 threats. And some of those teams for this question, when we talk about how we're supporting habitats, right off the bat, I think about our seaforestation team. Our seaforestation team is a team of individuals that are essentially growing kelp and growing seaweed. We start with little seedlings and then we grow it inside of our nursery. And then we go and put it into the ocean. And we hope that these kelp forests can grow, because right now, seaweed forests around the world are depleting significantly. So maintaining and restoring those ecosystems is incredibly important for ocean health and land health. Over 50% of the oxygen that we breathe comes from our ocean, and it comes from ecosystems and habitats like kelp forests. So we're working incredibly hard to restore those ecosystems. We also have our plastic reduction team. So we have a plastics team that's sampling water, looking at, how many microplastics and microfibers are in our ocean, trying to find ways that we can reduce the amount of microplastics in our ocean to reduce damage to organisms that help maintain ecosystems and habitats. We also have our sustainable seafood team, which is working really, really hard to collect data on, you know, species abundance and healthy species, and, you know, what types of fish we should be consuming that can be kind of deemed as more sustainable alternatives than just kind of picking any seafood to consume. And then last but not least, I would say through education. So I'm an educator with Ocean Wise, and I get to talk to kids all around the world, and I get to talk to people like you all here today. And I get to share not only my knowledge about the ocean and what the ocean is going through, but I get to have conversations about what some solutions can be and what some problems we're seeing in our environments and in our habitats are, and how we can come together and find, you know, collective solutions that will make big differences for the future. So all those things I think are kind of hopefully supporting habitats around the world, and ocean habitats especially.
Okay, that was amazing. The next question is, what biome do you live in and what issues are facing its biodiversity?
So I live in the northeast of Australia in an area called North Queensland. And in this area, we're really lucky to have two biomes which are really rich in biodiversity. So we have our rainforest on the land and the Great Barrier Reef in the ocean. Unfortunately, they're both under significant threat from various factors. So our rainforests, I think the biggest factor that's been impacting them is that much of it has been cleared for agricultural use. So we have huge problems with habitat loss and fragmentation as well. And additionally, we have several feral species which either directly kill or outcompete our native flora and fauna for resources. And then for our Great Barrier Reef, absolutely the biggest issue facing it is climate change and global warming. So when the ocean is increased in temperature, it upsets the delicate balance required for the symbiotic relationship between coral and the algae that lives in it and provides it with nutrients and also its color. So this forces the algae to leave the coral when it's too hot, which is causing coral bleaching and killing the coral. And unfortunately, in the last 8 years alone, we have had 5 mass coral bleaching events on the coral reef. And additionally, because of the increased CO2 in the atmosphere, some of that is absorbed into the oceans, which is increasing the acidity, which makes it more difficult for coral to grow skeletons and form reefs. And then the other huge problem we have, especially in my local area, is a species called crown of thorns starfish. There's been a massive increase in the number of them. So these starfish eat coral, and we've had several outbreaks of them in the last few years. During an outbreak, we can lose up to 90% of living coral tissue cover, which is absolutely devastating for the reef. And since the 1960s, we've had 4 major outbreaks of crown of thorns starfish, which have caused massive declines in coral. So yeah, those are the big issues in my area. Malo or Louisa, did you have anything for that?
Yeah, so as I mentioned, I'm in Toronto, Ontario. So we have a couple of different biomes, but we're mainly a lot of wetlands and boreal ecosystems. Yeah, we have a lot of marshes, and we are connected to many, many rivers or lakes. I believe Ontario is connected to like 20% of the world's fresh water supply. So we have a lot of fresh water. My organization is focused on ocean conservation, but living in Ontario, I've never actually been close to the ocean unless I visit an ocean. But the freshwater lakes are really, really abundant in a lot of freshwater species as well. I would say some threats would probably include a lot of plastic pollution, a lot of, you know, chemical pollution, climate change, of course. And we do have a lot of forests here, and we are losing a lot of our forests as well due to deforestation for commercial development. So, you know, paving over A-class farmland or paving over forests and rivers and marshes that are incredibly biodiverse to build more homes or, you know, malls and things like that, which I'm sure a lot of us on this call can relate to. So I think we'll see some common themes, I'm sure, across our answers today. I think we're all experiencing a lot of the same stuff.
Okay, so the next question is, How can youth get involved in your organization to help biodiversity?
In my school specifically, we have this group that is called PRAE, which basically means an environmental student project group. And it's a group that is open for students from all the grades, even if they're really young or anything. And in this group, we do projects like our garden. And also, we have projects like this one where some people can be invited, and then we go to school and we tell everybody what we did. And we're trying to make more stuff that where we can help environment with. But right now, those things are the ones we have. But the good thing is, like, we always help the environment in the projects we make. So yeah, it's basically that.
Yeah, and in particular, we're here with the Education Nature Nexus program, which is run by the Center for Global Education. So I think probably the best way to try to get involved in that is actually contacting us. So it would be amazing if we could get a link to the website in the chat. I don't know if that's possible, but yeah, so that should have contact details for our Center for Global Education, and it's a fantastic way to get youth and young people involved in biodiversity. Actually, I do have.
Yeah, the website is CT Education, so you can look it up.
I don't know if you can actually see that. But
wait, I'm gonna write it in the chat.
Yeah, if you can put that in the chat, that would be fantastic.
Oh, it's in the chat. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, absolutely. Contact Sarah or Rebecca, and they're fantastic.
Okay, sorry, maybe Loisa or Mala?
Mal, you could go ahead. I'll go right after.
Yeah. Okay. So, how can youth get involved in our programs, or organization to help biodiversity? So we have a couple of different things. We have a couple youth programs for people in different age groups. So OceanWise has a couple different youth programs. We have Ocean Bridge, we have Ocean Pathways, we have Youth to Sea. We even have an Eco Action Accelerator program. These are 4 different youth programs, and they all essentially work. They're all immersive programs where students can come. They can join an OceanWise expert, and we help fund your personal projects. So we will help you gain funding to run your program. And we'll also connect you with different people in the field so that, you can continue doing that work as well. Some of them even have learning journeys, so you can go out into nature and meet other people that are around your age that are also passionate about, conservation and sustaining biodiversity and ecology. And you can all share your ideas and you can build your network that way. So our youth programs, you can apply to by visiting our website, ocean.org. They're all different for different age groups, so you can try to see which one would match to you. We also have something that you can do with your friends and family is just sign up to lead a shoreline cleanup. We have a shoreline cleanup team at OceanWise, and if you want to do a cleanup in your community, you can reach out to us at ocean.org again, and you can go to our shoreline cleanup page, and we will provide you with, the tent, the gloves, the buckets, the pickup little claw things. We will give you all the equipment you need, and you can go out and clean a shoreline or a park with your friends or your family or your school. You can collect all that data and report it back to your local government as well. So we can continue tracking what type of trash that we're finding along our coasts. So that's something really fun that you can do as well through OceanWise. Another thing is you can sign up to have a discovery kit sent to your school. So the education team, we have discovery kits, which are entire lesson plans that have books and activities and games and hands-on artifacts like shark jaws and sea turtle skulls and things like that. And we will send it to your school, and you can learn about everything in that box with your classroom, and it has connections to curriculum, so it'll connect to what you're learning about in your school as well. And yeah, if you have any questions or you want to see more about how you can get involved, you can just visit us at ocean.org, and you can visit any of our team's pages and see what we're kind of up to and how you can get involved there as well.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing. The next, okay, Luisa is next.
Sure. Yeah, I'd love to go. Thanks, Mala, for sharing those awesome opportunities. And I guess one of my favorite things about climate change and biodiversity activism is that to get started, it really isn't expensive or it doesn't have to be so time consuming to make a difference. So, as long as we do our own part of being a part of the solution, I think that's a great first step. So, whether you're starting with biking to school, eating more plant based, avoiding single use plastic, or you're starting a garden in your community, your school, or your backyard, taking it global is using Commit to Act to promote ways that people can really start on the basics of living more sustainably. So again, if you go to committoact.org, you can get your friends and family to sign up, challenge them to start a daily streak for sustainable actions, or challenge them to see how much CO2 they can save in a month. And for educators who are watching, we also have a challenge going on called the Low Carbon Classroom Challenge. And this challenge is for anybody in Canada to be eligible. You have to be an educator or community leader that is signing up at least 10 people to create a group. And the first 50 educators who sign up 10 youth will get a Commit to Act water bottle. And if you're the top 3 groups who save the most CO2 by the end of the challenge, which is in January, then you will receive a $250 gift card for a low carbon lunch. And this challenge also includes teacher guides. So feel free to use the teacher guides no matter where you are in the world. If you go to linktree.com or linktree/commit to act, you should be able to see it there. And yeah, it's such a great way to kind of get started, get your feet wet when it comes to biodiversity and climate change activism.
Thank you. Thank you so much for the information. So the next question is, what made you want to become involved in environmental work?
And for me, I think I became involved in environmental work after an experience that I had a few years ago. So I went and got a scuba diving license, which was so cool. And as part of that, we spent a few days doing dives on the Great Barrier Reef. And it was absolutely amazing to see just how much life was there and how vibrant everything was. It was absolutely beautiful to see how everything interacted. But what we also saw is right next to these amazing living reefs were graveyards of dead coral, and it was absolutely tragic. And I thought to myself, I can't let this keep happening. So yeah, that's why I became involved in environmental work.
So Mala or Lisa, you want to answer?
Yeah, mine's pretty quick, honestly. Since I was very young, I loved animals. I always wanted to be around them. I would, pick up little bugs on my street and play with them. I would visit my home country of India, and I loved that my family comes from farmers, so we had a lot of cows, a lot of sheep, a lot of chickens, and I grew up vegetarian, all that stuff. So even my culture is very, very connected to the earth and connected to nature. And I think it was always taught to me from a young age. So I always kind of felt like it felt very natural to me to make that path. But, living in the city, living in a big city like Toronto, I always felt very disconnected from nature. So I knew that if I wanted to do that, I would have to probably, I don't know if you can hear my dog, but he's barking right now. But I knew that I would have to probably leave the city, but I was very fortunate enough to land a job for the environment in the city. So I'm lucky enough to connect with nature and work for, conservation in a big city. So goes to show no matter where you are and what you come from, whether you have access to ecology or not, you can do the work from wherever you are if you're motivated enough. Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah. Thanks, Mala, for sharing that. And I think on my end, like growing up, I really believed in the power that young people have to create positive social change. And when I was going through university and learning about international development, we talked about how one development issue is typically connected and affected by so many others. So my passion really lies in health and well-being. And I recognize that climate issues are deeply tied to people's physical and mental health. And a topic that a lot of people are talking about more recently is climate anxiety. So I found that this really tied together with my love for the wellness aspect and the environment aspect. So just overall, I really believe that each of us, especially young people, can contribute to a healthier world. And I just want to be able to support young people who are working so hard, like the three of you and all of your classmates there, who are doing so many good things to make the world a better place. So just a really big thank you to all the students.
So the last question is, what is one piece of advice you have for high school students wanting to make an impact on their local biodiversity?
Well, for me, it's just like, first of all, that for make big changes, we have to start like even with small things. So I would say like first, like try to stop using plastic, that like single-use plastic. And if it is a single-use plastic, try to use it more for other stuff. Because like just by doing these small things, you can do like really big changes. Like in my school, we recollect like a bottle caps, and I always have like this big bag of bottle caps, and we take them to these places where they take them and do stuff with them. And that is like really small changes that will help a lot. And also, I would recommend for you to look up what the endemic species of your zone are, and if you have a backyard or in your school you have a garden, to start like planting these endemic species, because these are the ones that will help the most with the environment. Yeah.
Malo or Luisa, did you have anything?
I think we want to hear from you guys first. If you two want to share, I think we'd love to hear you first.
Sure. I think the most important part of trying to make any kind of change like this is it's really good. It's really good if one person is doing it, but it's so much better if you can get a whole lot of people to do it. So talk to teachers, talk to your peers, talk to your friends, talk to anyone in your community, and try to organize something where you can get a group of people together to make a change. So for example, one person planting trees is fantastic. It's amazing. It's great. 15 people planting trees means you have so many more trees, and it makes such a larger difference. So yeah, I think don't try to do it alone.
Awesome. Yeah, it's like you guys took the words right out of my mouth. Honestly, I think I would say, and this goes for so many other things that I've advocated for as well, but there's just no such thing as a change too small. And like you said, like one tree is great, you know, and that's one tree that wouldn't have been planted without you. So I think it's really cool to see it in that perspective, and just remember that everything we do has a chain reaction, including like what we eat, where we shop, and even the temperature we wash our clothes in, right? So every little action and every little bit does count. And just find like-minded people, like you said, find your teachers, find your classmates who really have a love for the environment like you do. And just remember that even if only 5 people show up to a club that you started, or a shoreline cleanup, that's 5 people whose actions and awareness and education can go such a long way and create a chain reaction that they can then spread and lead and educate others as well. So yeah, that's such an awesome outlook. Thanks, guys.
Yeah, just kind of summarizing and seconding what everybody already kind of said. But one thing that I always love to end, majority of my programs that I deliver in classrooms or wherever I'm at, I always like to end on the note of, share what you learn. Just talking about issues and biodiversity and, about the earth and what we're kind of experiencing collectively can make a huge difference. At the end of the day, we are all connected to each other through our rivers and through our streams and through our ocean, right? So what's impacting one community and what's impacting one environment will be impacting all of us, right? So by staying curious and asking questions and, continuing to be aware and have these conversations, we can, talk more about what's going on, keep the conversation going, come up with more solutions. We can stay aware, and we can hopefully inspire other people to be part of the action as well. So my advice is just stay curious, keep doing what you're doing, talk to everybody about everything you know, and tell people about what you learned today. So you learned about the Commit to Act app. Tell people about it. Try to work it into conversations and get people curious about downloading the app. We have virtual aqua classes where I can come in and teach your class about coral reefs and coral bleaching. So if you're interested in that, talk to your teachers about that and see if they're interested in having us. But by working together and having these conversations, we can make a really, really big impact.
Totally. Yeah, I totally agree. And you would not imagine how impactful it is when you are here in person, seeing all of these students from such diverse backgrounds around the world, and they come together and they just have this shared love of nature and shared love of biodiversity, and like the amount of action that comes out of it is like so inspiring. So you guys are amazing. Thank you so much for all of your wonderful questions, answers. Thank you for your wonderful questions. We really appreciate all of the hard work that all of the organizations are doing and all of the hard work that our students have done leading up to the time here in COP, because this is not the start of their journey by any means. There is another way that we can get youth involved in biodiversity action in their country. So what we're going to do next is we have a short presentation from our partners at Green Learning to give you guys one more option for a way that you can get involved. So I'm going to invite Maria Khan. Maria leads the Electrifying the Futures program in Ontario and supports Green Learning's engagement and challenges. She has a background in environmental sustainability and is a dedicated educator committed to fostering inclusive and engaging learning environments. So welcome, Maria. We're so happy to have you. I am going to pass the microphone and the screen over to you, and you can let us know a little bit about eCards.
All right. Thanks so much, Rebecca, and everyone else. It's so great to see how passionate and interested everybody is in the environment and everything. But yeah, so I'm Maria. I work at Green Learning. We provide educators and students with loads and loads of resources and programs related to the environment, just to kind of get them into that and interested in all of that. So one of our programs that we have is called eCards. So just kind of on the topic of kind of sharing what you're doing to help the environment, it's kind of a great segue into that program. So with eCards, what our goal is to just kind of empower students just like yourselves to kind of share your voice and share your opinions on how we can help our environment, right? So I'm sure that as students learning about the climate, about the environment and sustainability, you all have some really great ideas on how we can help keep our planet healthy. And we've heard a lot of them here today, which is awesome. So with eCards, what you can do is you can kind of share these ideas that you have with even more people. So you can kind of create your own artwork, maybe put down some words or like a poem or a quote or something that really inspires you and you feel that is important to share to the rest of the world when it comes to helping our environment. So you can just kind of put that down on your little piece of paper, do that artwork, and you can send it in to us. And I can just share my screen here. Let's see, hopefully this works. All right, this should work. Let's see. Oh, we're actually gonna go to, all right, give me one. Oh, there we go. Okay, so hopefully you guys, okay, great. So these are some examples of eCards that we've received in the past from students. So I'm just gonna kind of scroll down here. They can be really anything, a picture of an artwork that you've created. We have lots of drawings that students send in. So these are kind of open to students from grades 2 to 12 from around the world. So no matter where you are, you can just create kind of an artwork. I think this is kind of about helping our oceans, ocean conservation. So kind of what Mala was talking about with Ocean Wise. So super cool stuff. You can just kind of create your artwork. And then what you can do is send that artwork into us with the help of your teacher or an adult. And we put it onto our website, just like how I showed you guys here, to reach a wider audience. And then we also send it over to a business person, a politician, someone who's very influential, someone of your choice. We try to get in touch with them and send it over to them as well, just to see if, if somebody who's kind of in a more of a leadership position in politics and things like that can make kind of a difference based on what you've sent in. So that's kind of how eCards works. It's a great opportunity for you to spread the word, spread the message, share what you've learned, and kind of get people to start acting on these ideas as well. So yeah, so what I would love for you guys to do after this session is over is to create your own eCard, draw a picture, write down a quote or anything you'd like that you think that is important to share with the rest of the world. And you can send that into us. We'll put it onto our website, share it with whoever you'd like us to share it with. And yeah, and we'll just kind of reach a wider audience altogether. But yeah, if anybody has any questions, feel free to share. Otherwise, I'll pass it back to Rebecca.
Thank you so much. And I will say we had a kind of art exhibition. Was that yesterday?
Yeah, I think, yeah, it was yesterday.
Yeah, and well, I mean, you
we also made some e-cards the other day, and it's like really like first of all, it's fun for people that really like art. Like I love art, and you can make collages, you can make drawings, you can make a painting, you can even make like I don't know, like write a poem or something. And I feel like making art it's really cool, and it really helps like for people to get to know more about this kind of stuff. So like, yeah.
Yeah, for sure. I love that. If you guys could send that over to us, that would be awesome. We would love to take a look at it.
On the way
Very
over.
Awesome. That's great. I'm so happy to hear that.
You know, I felt bad. We actually had planned to bring the art to show it here. It
Oh.
is back at the hotel, so unfortunately, not gonna get to see them. But you guys can see them if you head over to eCards once they're posted. Now, I did have one thing that I would like everybody to do before we do kind of our final reminders. A quick little poll for everyone. So it should be popping up on your screen. There's 2 questions. So the first question is, I learned something new at this event. So I don't know, what do you guys think? Agree, neutral, or disagree? Did you learn something at the event today?
Yeah, agree.
Yeah, absolutely. I think especially Marla, you talking about the ocean, the like coast cleanup program that you guys do. That's such a good idea, and I'm definitely going to have a look at how I can do that in my own community.
Yeah, I'm gonna do the same thing.
Wonderful. And the second one was, I will make a change in my life to help biodiversity. Now, I know you guys are already doing a lot, but would you agree, neutral, or disagree with this one?
Agree.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely. I think one thing I'm definitely going to do is using that Commit to Act, the carbon tracker program. That's fantastic. I'm definitely going to have a look at that.
And do you have a plan for an action when you get home?
Yeah, like I go a lot to the coast, so I want to do a beach cleanup. So yeah.
The beach cleanups are fun because it's like a beautiful, fun beach walk, and you also feel good about yourself after. Yeah. It's like such a great activity to do. Okay, I will leave the poll up maybe for 1 more minute just to make sure that we get a chance for everybody to answer. But I do have a couple of reminders I would like to get out. So number 1 is, if you liked this event or you liked connecting with these inspiring youth, we have another very similar event happening in a few weeks live from Azerbaijan. That's right, I'm gonna be on another flight and even more jet lagged. We are going to be coming to you from Baku, Azerbaijan, with a whole nother group of inspiring youth that would like to share at the Climate COP. So if you liked this one, we would love to have you at our next one. And if you have not yet signed up for our newsletter, signing up for our newsletter is how you learn about these live events, how you learn about great actions like e-cards and beach cleanups, and how you can get involved to actually be a youth that comes and travels with us to the climate and biodiversity COPs. And finally, I would like to thank everyone. So first of all, huge thank you to Colegio Jefferson, which I've been practicing. My Spanish is not great. We want to say thank you so much for hosting us in your beautiful school. And thank you to the students who have hosted us for the entire time that we've been here in COP. I also want to thank our panelists for joining us today. Thank you, ladies, for sharing all of your inspiring words. And of course, my biggest thank you is to these amazing students. You guys are doing amazing, inspiring work, and I am at all working with you every single day. So thank you for all of your hard work today. We have one last thing that we like to do at the end of our events, which we call our habitat cheer. So what we're going to do, and we would love for you guys to join in as well if you want to turn your camera on. Then no, that's okay. Then we can see you guys as well in the cheer. So what we're going to do is we're going to count 3, 2, 1, and we're going to go hands up for habitat. Now, my guys do it all the time, so they're old experts. But we're all going to do it as a group. Are we ready? 3, 2, 1. Hands up for habitat. Wonderful. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining us. That is a wrap on our live from COP. We hope you guys all have a good morning, afternoon, or evening. Thank you so much for joining us. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.